Hello besties, we're back and today we're going to talk about a controversial topic, and that is how to be a good liar. Now, I know some of you might think that this is immoral and why am I teaching these things, but hey, you're on my page and here I teach what I'm knowledgeable about and what I'm good at, and this is one of the things. So, if that doesn't suit you, you don't have to watch this video, but if you want to know how to be a better liar, then this is the one for you. Now, before I start, the number one thing you must know is that the pro tip of being a good liar is that no one knows you are a liar. Except my closest people, no one else knows about this skill that I have. I promise you. So the number one thing that is required of you to be a good liar is you have to have a big imagination. See, to some people that comes naturally. Me, I've always had a big imagination. Since a kid, I've been making up stories. However, if you don't, this is something to work on if you want to be a good liar. Read books, read fiction, read maybe even non-fiction books that have some sort of mystery or something to do with real life, maybe detective things, maybe a novel, romance, anything that would benefit your life and your imagination and how you look at things and how you understand things and the different ways life can go. Just read a lot of books, maybe watch a lot of movies, and it depends on what you want to lie to. Is it what? Sorry guys, I just watched two squirrels fight. Who do you want to lie to? Is it your parents? Is it a boyfriend? Is it guys you talk to? Is it friends? So, and what is the topic? Of course, in life you're gonna need to lie about a lot of different things, so that's why I suggest you watch a lot of different movies, different genres, different books, so get a lot of experience and try to work your imaginations before you fall asleep. Try to think of scenarios, make up stories. Maybe try, when you have spare time, get into writing. Maybe write a short little story, 1-page story. Maybe even Google how to grow your imagination. But there's a lot of ways. Books, movies. Think of scenarios before you fall asleep. As you're getting ready in the morning, you're about to go somewhere. It doesn't matter where it is. Maybe it's the grocery store. Maybe it's to school, work, whatever it is. Think of minimum 2 or 3 different ways the day can go. Genuinely sit there and think how your daily life goes, and think how can today goes in 2 or 3 different ways. Like think, okay, maybe I speak to this employee. Like make up scenarios in your head. What kind of conversation would you have with an employee or another student in your class or someone at the grocery store, the cashier? Make up scenarios in your head. How would this conversation go? What would you say? What would they say? Just, that's what I mean by grow your imagination. Try to imagine things that have never happened, things that may not happen, but try to imagine something like a conversation, a story, an exchange of looks. That way, you will be able to have more realistic lives. And now let me tell you why having a big imagination is a good thing. Because when you lie, it has to be realistic. You cannot lie and say that you went to the moon. That's not realistic. Your lies have to be very, very realistic. Think about your daily life, the things you do. And that's the thing about lying, right? All lies must have some truth in it to be believable. So if you're gonna make up a lie, let's say you're lying to your parents. They said, where did you go? Why did you come back so late? Think of one part of your day or night where you was that is realistic, that actually happened, and they know that this is something you do. Let's say you went to a familiar place, but it was with someone else, someone you wasn't meant to be. Maybe a friend your parents don't like, or a boy, or a girl, or whatever. Say you went to that place and they know you go to that place. They know who you go to that place. And say a name of a friend that they know. And say something that maybe you and your friend do a lot. Let's say your friend is artistic. Say you went to this bar and she showed you pictures of the new artwork she drew. It doesn't matter. There's that little detail that makes it more believable. And you don't have to go into details of what the pictures looked like. If she's like, what did you guys do? You And you can wait until they ask questions. Don't just say all at once, all the details. Just say, oh, I went to this bar with my friend. What friend? You say the name. So what did you guys do? Why did you come so late? Oh, we really got to talking. And then she's you know how she's into art. She actually showed me her new pictures that were so beautiful. And I don't really think your mom would ask too much about it, but if it is, lie and make up something that your friend could have drawn. And this goes into step number 2. Pre-plan. The way to be a good liar is you gotta think ahead. If you know you're somewhere you're not meant to be, if you know you've done something you shouldn't have done, and people might find out about it, or people might question you about it, prepare. Think what you're gonna say. And this is where imagination comes from. Now sit down and think, okay, what could have happened that people would believe? What could I have said or done in this situation that might be believable? Be ready. Think of the questions people might ask you. Where were you? Who were you with? What did you do? Why did you do that? Why didn't you come home? Why didn't you pick up the phone? Oh, did your phone die? Did you lose it? Think of something that is believable and have patterns. I'll get into the patterns later, but so pre-plan, be ready. So by the time you come home, or by the time the person questions you, your heart is not beating at 10 miles per hour. You're not getting stage fright, and you're like, oh, you're ready. You've planned your lie. You know what you're gonna say. So that's number 1. Even if you don't have a big imagination and you have no idea how to grow your imagination, at least pre-plan, or think of something you've even done before and use a previous situation to say you've done it this time when someone asks about something you want to lie about. So that is, I think, even more important than having big imagination is pre-planning. Always prepare for when people are going to ask you questions that you don't want to answer truthfully. Think of what you're going to say instead. Is so important. If you know what you're gonna say, you won't be scared. You won't look like you're lying because you have already thought through it. Now all you have to do is say it out loud. And this leads into point number 3, which is also so important. You have to actually believe your lies. You have to convince yourself this is what happened. This is the truth. You got to speak it with confidence. You got to keep going. Even if they don't look like they believe you, you got to look so calm, composed, and in belief of yourself that they start to believe you. Okay, you gotta have that tone of, are you questioning me? Like, why would I lie? But don't say, why would I lie? That's the way to lie so good. You gotta make people question themselves for why they're questioning you. You gotta make it seem like they shouldn't be questioning you. You gotta make them think, damn, like, okay, maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe I'm paranoid. That's how you gotta say it. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I do this? Oh, we just did this, don't you know that? Like, you have to have that tone of, you're so certain in yourself, you know that this happened. Like, why would this not happen? You gotta believe your lies. If you have to repeat it to yourself 10 times until you believe it, say it. If people keep questioning you, be like, well, believe me if you don't, but I know what happened. I mean, are you gonna question me? What do you want me to take you with me next time? Just keep going. Even if they know you're lying, just keep going, because there's no point of being like, oh, okay, he caught me, unless it's something small. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, have a big imagination so you can think of scenarios. Pre-plan, know what you're gonna say. Even if they never end up asking you, the more you create scenarios in your head and you plan for things, you'll be ready, because you never know when people might question you on something you've done. They might question you in 5 months. You made this lie 5 months ago. You've had time to think about it, so now you're ready to spill it. Like, yeah, I did this. What? Oh, next time you can come. Say something outrageous that would make them think, yeah, she can't be lying. Like, invite them next time. Or say, but you have to be careful with this. You have to know that they won't come. Like, just be very smart. Pay a lot of attention to what people would believe and would want to do and hear, and how their thought patterns work. The last point, which is also very important, I know I've said this for all of them, but literally this is short and simple. You got 4 steps and they each combining into each other to make a beautiful, believable lie. So you know why when I said keep lying even if they don't believe you? Now the fourth step is a bit going back on that, but this is different. Sometimes if you want to build your reputation as a truthful person or someone people can trust, sometimes you have to lie bad on purpose. I'm not even joking. For small things that don't really matter, that people won't really be upset at you, you have to lie bad on purpose. Maybe they ask you, did you break this? You gotta lie bad on purpose. You gotta be like, no, I didn't break that. Like, you gotta be uncertain, like, no, I didn't, it wasn't me. And they'll obviously see that you're lying. They'll be like, you're lying. Be like, no, I'm not lying. That wasn't me. Lie bad on purpose. So then they think you're a bad liar. So next time when you are really lying, they'll think, okay, if she was lying, I would know, because I know when she lies. You see, that's the thing. And you have to do this a few times. Like, do it a couple times, like, so you build a reputation of a bad liar, so that when you really are lying for a purpose, when you have a reason to lie, they believe you, because they think that they know what you're like, and they know when you're lying because you're a bad liar. But if you know the person doesn't really care if you lie about this, like it's not a big deal to them, that's when you lie. But when you know this thing is a big deal to them and it would really affect your friendship or might get you in trouble with your parents, that's when you lie good, because you don't want the friendship to be affected, the relationship, your parents beating you up. So if it's something that doesn't really matter to them and it's small and it won't really affect things, that's when you lie bad on purpose to build up the reputation of a bad liar. Another thing is, if one time you lie about something, like where you're at or who you're with or something you don't want them to find out, and you have this pattern, you've said, remember when I mentioned patterns, you've said this thing, they question you, so why didn't you tell me, why didn't you pick up the phone, why didn't you send me a location, whatever it might be, you gotta build a pattern. You got to then now do this thing even when you're not lying. So let's say you're actually out with the person you said you're with, at the place you said you was with. Now you gotta make it look suspicious. Now you gotta make it look like, so don't pick up the calls on purpose. You might not be doing anything wrong, but don't pick up calls, don't send a location, just make it suspicious. And do this a few times, so that when you actually are not doing what you're not supposed to be doing or who you're not supposed to be with, they just know that, oh, her phone just dies, or sometimes she just doesn't pick up my calls, sometimes her phone is just in her bag and she doesn't hear it. They're used to you doing these things, so that when you do it and you say, oh, my phone died, oh, my phone was in my bag on silent, oh, I wasn't on my phone the whole time, they're used to this kind of behavior. So you gotta be acting suspicious even when you're not. You purposely act suspicious on a day you're not doing anything wrong and you're not lying. Now if they ask for proof of you being with that friend, you actually have the proof, but do this only one time. Be like, Mom, you really don't believe me? Like, I can show you a picture, look, here's me and my friend. And then you do this once, and then next time, if you really are not lying but she asks for a pic, which she usually won't, because now she's used to you not doing this, not picking up or not sending a location or saying something, now they won't really ask for a picture. They kind of know that this is your behavior. But if they do ask for a picture, be like, oh, we just didn't take a picture this time, but you know where you was at, and they know you did this last time, so that when you're not with that person, not where you're meant to be, and you don't have a picture, you don't have any evidence for your lie, they won't really expect it from you. So you gotta, like I said, lie on purpose sometimes, or do suspicious behavior sometimes, to make people just get used to the fact that you're unpredictable. You're just, sometimes you pick up, sometimes you don't, sometimes you tell the truth, sometimes you're so bad at lying, people are like, why is she lying, you know? But really deep down, this is a whole master plan that you've created. So I hope this helps, and I hope the wrong people don't watch this and hate me, but honestly I love you guys and I'm too grown to lie to you now, so